Y'all, Poodle has finally realized he needs to paint his living room, and I am over the moon.
I at first I just didn't want to because I was just happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
That's a good name of a podcast.
That's
happy to be here.
Happy to be here. It wouldn't be ours.
For this show.
I think that's my first autobiography when I'm like a young child and I'm going around saying, I'm happy to be here, until I realize that life is suffering.
That's a jump from book 1 to book 2.
And I learned that like at age 7.
Okay. Wow.
Y'all, little poodle grew up fast.
Y'all, welcome to Pig Royalty.
Welcome to Pig Royalty. I need to also say something.
Oh, no.
You did something a little bit ago.
What?
We ordered pizza today. And, you know, you have that people who, you know, you'll cut a little slice off. Have you ever seen someone who's so barbaric? They don't have the pizza off, you know, lengthwise. They cut off all the cheesy parts for one piece.
That's the part
and leave a third of the crust.
That's the part I like.
That's like taking a dump on the rest of the pizza. No, you have to be egalitarian. You cut the pizza. Everyone knows. Everyone likes the cheese part.
But I know you like the crust.
You're a liar. I want cheese. You're a liar. You're trash man. No, I want cheese just as much as everyone does, and I also want crust. And you're a Philistine for doing it. It's like sticking your entire hand in a pie. I'm glad you used the pizza cutter. And it was also it had been crudely cut.
It was in a hurry, so you couldn't hear me.
And it had all the makings of a crime of passion that was done quickly.
Very true.
But when I looked in that pizza box, it looked like an autopsy had happened.
We should do instead of true crime, we should do stories of people stealing food.
That's a violation.
Eat Taco Bell out of the trash can that you threw away because you said you were too drunk to finish it, but you still eat it anyway.
I've thrown away like a half of a taco that I didn't need to eat. Now, there had not been foodstuffs in this, and like Seinfeld, this taco was sitting on top of other trash.
And you went back and got it?
This is Pig Royalty. Anyway, I needed to call out that madness. You need to never do that again. Don't ever do that to anyone else.
You know what makes me want to do it?
I'm like a really good friend, and I will allow that.
It makes me want to order a pizza, but cut out just all the center and just leave you a ring of crust.
No, you're a monster. You're an absolute monster. No one divides a piece that way.
I don't know anyone who values pizza more sacred than you.
There is a pizza etiquette, and
it's a religious ceremony for you to eat.
You know what's
pizza.
worse? You know what's worse? People who de-cheese the pizza. My father does that.
Oh, I did that as a little kid.
Well, yeah, you're a child.
And then one day my mom said, Matthew, you're an adult. You need to eat the whole pizza now.
You're a monster. Yeah.
So your father at fucking 70-something years old still de-cheeses the pizza?
If there's somewhere, my father will de-cheese it and not think that it needs that someone else may want that. And he's basically raping and pillaging the pizza, so no one else is just going to get tomato sauce and bread. Should we move on?
Let's talk about the Seguine swine breeders.
I think it's the Seguine.
Swine?
Yeah.
Seguine?
Or Seguine.
Seguine?
Yeah.
Seguine. Seguine is on fire. We don't need a water.
Or Swine. Yeah, probably Swine.
Y'all, this is Pig Royalty.
Swine breeders.
Swine breeders. Season 1, episode 7. It's all about the cats.
It's all about the cats. As we said in the last episode, when Michelle finally, through her rage, but did not become a dragon like Maleficent, but became a giant fire-breathing pig.
It just screams,
it's all about the cats.
It just throws pig shit on everyone.
Just sprays liquid pig shit into the stands, onto the judges, onto old ladies with walkers.
Make that movie, y'all.
I need to also say that it's a good thing that I think it's the Justin Kane is saying a Father Ouija's prayer for Michelle. Father, bless these. Father, we just want to ask you to bless these animals. We want to ask you to bless these. Father, we just want to ask you to help for Michelle because she really needs your help right now. Father, she's a kind person. And no, she's not.
No, she's not. But Father, we just want to pray for her, and we just
don't you have a lot better things to ask for?
Well, okay, Father, we just are going to leave you alone. Y'all, come
Thanks.
Come
the Kentucky Derby's on today.
We know you've all had a Father Ouija's prayer if you're from the South.
They do like to ask for all kinds of things. I did enjoy him asking for the Father to bless the animals, but that's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
So, real quick, y'all, we want to remind you, if you're listening to this, there's only one more episode. It's going to premiere on Tuesday night. We are going to be watching that. We're going to be very excited to watch that. Our interview with Tyler Parrish is going up on Monday. So, and also, y'all, we have secured an interview with Jody.
Kammi, and possibly Keely.
Yeah. So, Jody messaged, said, do you want Josh and Cannon there? And I'm like, I wanted to respond back, but I'll tell her when we interview. I was like, Cannon should not be listening to our show.
No,
not appropriate.
We're going to talk about dicks.
Yeah.
Probably pig dicks. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure the girls should be there. I'm not sure it's right for Jody, personally.
I think Keely might start crying in a corner again from us.
I don't think our show is right for adults.
No, I really don't. Like, I don't know why any of you are listening.
It may be good for hardened criminals.
If you're in prison and you're a listener, come at us.
Or they don't allow them because it actually may affect their rehabilitation.
Yeah, they were doing really good. And then
I think our show is for people who are just dead inside.
When they're listening and they're doing well in prison, they're like, you suddenly start to get rowdy. And you're like, well, Poodle told me to fuck the man.
You know what? Poodle said something about today about not respecting authority. And that's where I am.
And then you see prison riot at San Quentin caused by gay South Carolinian.
And there's a pinup shot of me going, hey, boys.
Hey, boys. Let's
Betty Page shoot.
jump in. So, y'all, if you remember season 6, or episode 6 ended with Michelle going to the ambulance. Okay? Ambulance. So this time, we see Michelle. She is back at home. And the show triggered tension in her back.
And she has herniated discs.
Several herniated discs.
The stress from the pig show, yeah.
That's horrible. Herniated discs.
Very, very painful.
Very, very, very painful. As Michelle said, I couldn't even wipe my own butt.
And Roy's like, yep, had to wipe your butt.
McCall had to wipe her butt. And I want to say, McCall, I know how you feel. Because as y'all know, I've been wiping my
Caretaker corner.
I've been wiping it's caretaker corner, y'all. Come at me. I've been wiping my dad's butt, but that's okay.
And so, anyway, there was one spot where they were at the swine breeders competition. And in the most epic turn, Jody turns to the camera and says, where the hell is Michelle Bolero?
And then he just went, pig royalty.
Pig royalty. That's the thing.
Ooh!
I love about this show. I love about this show is the producers know how the drama works.
They do.
And this show's impeccably put together.
Well, yeah, they did the Amish show. They've done a ton of shows.
Oh, that's what they do, Breaking Amish?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
This is all on Kate Casey. And the guy who knew kind of this pig world was the guy who started Trading Spaces and is friends with this guy.
That makes sense.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to the Kate Casey interview with executive producer Eric, I believe.
Eric Evangelista.
Which I still think sounds like a gay drag queen. Like Eric Evangelista.
You know what it sounds like? He sounds like a club promoter.
Yeah.
An Eric Evangelista production.
Hey,
come out to the floor, y'all.
Come out.
We got go-go boys. We got showers.
We've got this. Tonight we're gonna be pumping hard at this new club.
Booty Boys 2-for-1 shots.
It's called Jockstrap, and if you wear a jockstrap, you get in half off. And it's half off.
At 2 a.m., the club becomes Club Cum.
Yeah. Wow.
You think we're
you
lying.
just said that.
But I can see it.
There has been that club in Hell's Kitchen in New York.
I'm so sorry, Kammi and Keely Reen.
I'm sorry.
You're adults, though.
Keely just turned to Tyler and said, "Is there really a club coming?"
And Tyler's like, girl, I've
been that club. Closed it down.
Club Cum.
We got to move on. I'm so sorry.
Come at us if you've been to Club Cum or something like it.
I've been often.
I've got like a stamp card.
Oh yeah, they just let you in free now.
This one again.
So
I'm always here, boys.
So McCall says she's talking. Finally, y'all, this is McCall's big break. We finally get her like 3 times.
I know. This is like her best episode.
And she says, we didn't understand what was going on. And basically, Mackenzie said, we decided that she was not going. She needed to rest. And
Mackenzie's like, we decided she was not going. We had to like take her aside.
And they show the inside of Michelle's house.
Lots of deer heads.
Poodle could never go into this house because there are so many scented candles lit all the time.
Everywhere.
It would drive Jake crazy.
I'm pretty sure the whole house smells
like
vanilla orgy.
Yes, just vanilla orgy.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to make a candle called Vanilla Orgy. I'd buy that candle.
I'll be honest. When I walk into a gentleman caller's house for the evening and I'm over to inspect the equipment, the smell of the overwhelming syrupy scent of vanilla does nothing for my libido. I think I'm one of the few men who don't love vanilla.
Well,
do you like it?
I do enjoy it. Yeah,
it's too much for me. I don't like sweet smells.
I like a real vanilla smell, not a sweet vanilla.
That's
like
almost impossible to find. Do you have any?
Yeah.
Where'd you buy them?
They have candles at Anthropology. They have a vanilla and they have an espresso one. Espresso one's fantastic.
I can handle espresso, I think.
It's great. You would love it. Kind of clears the air.
What
is happening?
I'm not a huge scented candle fan. I like lavender and I like woodsier scents.
He wants things to smell like musk.
Kind of.
Like if it smells like a guy's balls, he's going to light it.
You know, I think you've nailed it. I just want a candle that's just balls with a Z.
Just balls. And pair that with taint.
Yeah.
We got to move on.
With top notes of taint.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, mostly balls.
Wow.
So, you guys, I want to say...
Did you go to Bath and Body Works? I got their new candle, Uncircumcised. Boy, it smells good, Carol.
Uncircumcised blue cheese.
Gross. we are off, y'all. This is the end of the day. We've had a long work day today.
Yeah.
We're a little.
I'm a little giddy.
We're a little giddy. Yeah. Okay.
I'm drunk on pizza still. I'm pizza inebriated.
Yeah. It's pizza in the morning,
pizza in the evening. It's about time. You can have pizza on a bagel. You can have pizza anytime. Barbecue sauce.
Parquet. All right. So.
What if one show was just us topping ourselves with... If I could top myself, I wouldn't leave the house. Topping ourselves with just catchphrases.
It would get the least downloads.
I agree. I want to point out one thing that Mimi said.
Mimi is Michelle's mom.
Yes. She's like, if you would have tried to leave the house and go to that pig show, it would have been like World War V. And I thought to myself...
What happened?
What was World War III for her? And even more importantly, what was World War IV?
Apparently, they've already happened in Helotes or Sabino, Texas.
World War III is obviously a robot uprising.
Yes.
Obviously.
I think 4 would be zombies.
Yeah. Or...
aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, aliens. And then World War V is definitely... Mimi fighting her daughter to get off the couch to go to the last pig show.
It's comparable. Comparable.
I just never heard anyone use the phrase World War V before. I just never heard
I think kind of like World War I, there'd be a lot of gas. Don't know if it'd be mustard gas, but
I think you just made a World War I like chemical weapon joke, and I'm not sure how I feel about it.
We're off the track.
Do you know how many people died of chemical poisoning?
It was a long time ago. You know what?
Wow. We need to move on. Every show we've done today, you've said something
I'm
that
Randy today.
No,
Kind of Randy.
You're not Randy or edgy. You're offensive. Now all our World War I vets who listen aren't going to want to listen.
I don't think they I don't know. If
You know what?
alive.
You don't know that.
They would be very old.
I think they
were
would be.
listening.
Or they could have children, and they're like, my father told me
and
about
I'm sorry
this.
if I
You apologize to the children of World War I vets.
Anyway.
And all vets in general.
So, here's the thing is, Jody, first of all, Jody says, she tells Mandy about Michelle boycotting their show, and she says, the best thing is to shut it down. We don't want to do a shitty show.
Yeah, because she's boycotting the show.
And Jody also tells her, she said, I also found out, I asked for my money back, and so did 2 other people, and those 2 people got their money back, and I got nothing.
Right. One other thing I want to say.
And then she says, my great line, she's like, so I guess I paid for Michelle's car payment this month.
Oh, God.
Which she did. It
She
did not go back to the kids.
It's for the kids.
For the kids.
There was one thing that Teresa is talking to Cannon. She's like, we're going to win this for Michelle. We're going to kick Cannon's ass. And again, that's not healthy. Targeting the child of their rival.
Yeah, I agree. This isn't a defense. It's of... I don't think Teresa has the kind of bite behind that. I don't
You're
think
right.
she realizes what necessarily she's saying.
I think you're right.
Now, when Michelle says that, or somebody else says that, that would be a different. They're one of the Mick kids.
One of the Mick kids. McRib, McGriddle, McChicken.
That would be different.
Yeah. I'm sorry, we should not say McGriddle because McGriddles are from the Lord.
They're from the Lord.
Yeah.
Anyway, Michelle, they say, when Jody says I have to shut it down, Michelle said, I did not tell anyone not to go.
I did not tell anyone not to go.
The producer said, really? And she goes, and she just breathes out of her mouth and looks at the camera.
She's still got on that coral lip from last episode, y'all. She's sticking with that coral.
So basically, why did I write Kim?
I will say, Kim is Jordan's mom.
Oh,
they do get to wear, because Michelle's not there. They get to wear their own clothes. They don't have to wear that white shirt and khakis.
They also said they agreed.
Right.
That Jordan and Shelley agreed that, Jordan said it feels weird not to wear cheetah print, but now Roy is in charge of the show.
Roy, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to also say...
And Josh is not at this show, actually.
No.
So it's just Roy and then Jody.
And that's a big deal, y'all, because Josh centers Jody.
Boy, she kind of spirals a little.
Jody, without Josh, and also she's got Keely kind of coming at her because they're very similar.
They're very alike.
And they both get emotional quickly. And you can tell that Kammi is like Josh.
Kammi is
very
a strong, level-headed.
Oh, my God.
She's like, she kind of is sometimes, I will say, I think Kammi is sometimes the most level-headed out of all the Reams.
Yeah, she's a lot like her dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her and her dad and everybody else.
We're going to get to Kammi
everybody
in a
else,
minute.
they would admit, everybody else in that family is kind of a mess.
Yeah.
An emotional mess in a good way.
In a good way. So Mackenzie says that this is when, because there's
Mackenzie's
nothing like, well, hold on. I just want to preface and say, there's nothing like when your mother is sick and has herniated disc and she can't even wipe her own ass for you to say, well, Michelle really knows nothing about pigs.
Dad knows everything.
She acts like she knows, but she doesn't know anything.
She just came along and she's like a Johnny come lately. It's whatever.
And then Michaela's like, yeah, this is really Dad's thing, and the mom tried to make it hers.
Can you imagine saying that on camera, y'all? Just the thing is, I would never. I've talked about my mother before.
It's weird loyalty when they choose to be loyal.
Yeah, in uncertain terms, and I've said things, but there's some stuff that is, as we've had people say, home talk. I would never come at my mom about a certain thing, and everything is that we
Especially
say
something that's her life's work.
Yeah. And I would never say my mother knows nothing about
it really
something.
is a lot of youth and spoiledness in those girls. And
they're extremely
honestly,
spoiled.
I say girls because they don't act like adults. I don't care if they are.
No,
18.
you're right.
They act like spoiled girls, and it really is. I think for them, I really hope life works out well enough for you that when you're an adult, you don't regret anything you did or did not do.
Oh, amen.
Because your mom is living that every day, and you have no fucking idea, kid. No fucking idea.
And as my mother says, when I'm dead and gone, you'll feel sorry for that. And you know what? My grandmother said the same thing to her.
Wow.
Son's a lot like you, Dad. You know we're gonna keep coming down. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man in the moon. Anyway.
Wow. And I don't want to get in. This is going to be a sad story.
They're all sad stories.
They're all sad Southern stories.
It's like a Faulkner novel. It's my mom's side of the family. So, I want to say...
That is where we get the Roy Michelle. What are they talking? But they're really cute together, where he says...
He's like, I would really miss you if you were gone. Who would bring me a beer? And she laughs, and she also kind of tears up.
And he's like, don't cry. And
he
looks at her so loving.
They actually... he is the best thing about her.
He is. And I think... This is what I think, y'all. It's kind of like... I really think... We brought up that movie, and we brought up Maleficent last, but this time I'm bringing up that terrible, some people liked it, but that terrible Angelina Jolie movie, Maleficent, or whatever, that movie Cruella show is going to be about, with what's her name?
Emma Stone.
You're going to love that movie.
It's weird. I rarely like her in most things she's in. I liked her in La La Land, but it was like one of the few things I liked her in.
Well, I think Michelle, when she was younger, is a different person than she is now.
Totally agree.
And I think that it is, I just think she's built up a wall of hurt around her.
Right.
I mean, Brene says, hurt people. And so I think but I think Roy still remembers who that woman he loved is.
I agree.
That's what I read into that.
I also want to point out, speaking of Roy, that when they were there without Michelle, Kammi just goes over to Roy, and I gasp.
Cammy's got fucking balls.
And she's like, hey, I noticed Michelle's not here. Is she okay? And she's like, and he's like, yeah, her back wasn't feeling. And he's already feeling like, oh my God, what do I do? The camera's on me. Do I be nice?
You could tell he was kind of nervous.
Yeah.
Where Cammy's just kind of talking. She's like, well, no one wants to hear that. And and that's where Kammi kind of says,
she's hearing that Michelle's in the hospital should open up all our eyes. And we need to refocus.
This really, truly is Shakespearean. She's like the one.
Thank you.
She's like,
I said that on episode 1, and you poo-pooed me.
That is not true.
Yes, you did.
I said that you were gay for saying it, but
you laughed at me for saying Shakespearean.
I didn't. I said you were gay, but I agree.
Normally, you're taking all of you're using what I'm saying.
That is not true. She's like that, but Kammi is like that. Oh, what are they called? The person who gives the drugs and all the Shakespeare. The person who gives the pharmacist in all what is that called in Shakespeare?
Usually the doctor.
But it's
or
not
the friar.
The friar, yes. She's like that friar saying, hey everybody, wake up,
well,
bitches.
Yeah, it's Polonius or any types of the counselors. Yeah, it's all of them.
And so
there's always someone who knows.
There's somebody who knows. And so she really hopes they...
And they usually die.
Yeah, you do. They usually do. Or they get banished. Sorry, Kammi. And so now, y'all, it's a senior showmanship competition. Jordan doesn't win.
No.
And so that's disappointing. You see, Michelle is watching everybody on FaceTime, and she's watching Jordan. She's stressed out. She's like, do this, do that. She's yelling at the camera.
Why didn't they take the phone away from her?
Because she won't let them.
Yeah.
And their mom and Mimi says, you can't. continue on.
It's going to be World War V or 6 with when the gophers come for us.
She's just tapping her acrylic nails on that table going, you can't continue like this, absorbing this stress if you can't let it go. And that's where Mimi says, you've got to end this with Jody.
And you know what?
You need to communicate
and
with her
McCall
and be
comes
the
in
bigger
and
person.
McCall says, you don't know what Jody's going through. Maybe she's blah, blah. I'm like, is this some circumspection from the youngest Bolero girl?
And then Michelle doesn't hear it at all.
Like, no.
She's like, let's go back. Michelle's like, if she says, I'm sorry to me, but I did nothing wrong.
Right.
Michelle is stoic in her position.
And I am still curious about what Michelle is so pissed off about. And the only thing I can think of is her asking for her money back in front of other people.
Because didn't someone say to Michelle, is it the money? And she said, no. I thought she said that.
But is that the only thing she's upset about? I wonder if you could actually get that out of Michelle.
But here's the deal. Michelle doesn't see it, but you kind of think that, well, we're going to get to that later because I was surprised by Jody's reaction, but we're going to talk about that later. Because before we get there, Jody is still aggravated. Michelle isn't there.
Because she wants to give her a piece of her mind.
And she even says, Roy said there's something that's up with her back, but why isn't she here today?
Right.
And I was kind of like, that's not
she wants to fight. She
wants to fight. And Josh isn't there.
Fight.
And so, but next, y'all.
I love a good fight.
Focus camera up on Mackenzie and Michaela, and suddenly,
I lost my goddamn mind.
And suddenly, around the corner, here comes Kammi.
I lost my mind. And this was like if there was a Marvel crossover, and it happened right in front of our eyes, and we didn't know it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, like.
This is
Ant-Man
like when
ended up in
gay
like,
porn.
I could see it. Paul Rudd runs through my gay porn mind nightly.
He just presses the button and gets bigger and bigger.
Exactly.
Wow, I think I just wrote a movie. Anyway,
Ant-Man porn.
Ant-Man. But y'all, Kammi comes around, and what I loved about this is the difference to me of like really owning it and not. Kammi is totally comfortable in herself, and the girls, Mackenzie and Michaela, completely freeze.
And they don't know what to say.
Because they're all fucking talk.
Yeah, and it's all fake.
It's all
just
fake.
like Michelle.
Like Michelle.
Like when Jody was trying to talk to Michelle.
Jody was not rude at first to Michelle with all that whole thing.
Well,
now Michelle didn't say anything. She eventually said, I think I want to get my money back.
Yeah.
But she originally just was trying to talk about the buckles. But they completely froze. I wish they didn't have their mask on so we could see their lips tighten.
Right. And they said, and Kammi said, just want to know, I'm just coming over to you guys. Is there any issue between us, the kids? And they're like, no.
She's like, because I don't want it to be an issue. I want to squash it. And she's like, and cut to the producer says to Mackenzie, do you know what happened?
But you're skipping the most important part.
That's true.
She goes away. She's like, okay, good. And
she says, Michaela does bring up, well, that happened at the show, and I know my mom was in tears, and Kammi said, yeah, my mom
cries all the time.
Too, so same.
Yeah.
And I don't think they even heard that at all.
Kammi's so good.
Kammi needs to be like an attorney or something.
Yeah.
She's like, I just want to leave it to the parents. And they're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we want to too. We don't want any drama.
And then they walk away.
And then Michaela says...
No, Mackenzie says first.
Fucking pathetic.
Freaking pathetic.
Freaking pathetic.
Absolutely
pathetic.
And you hear Michaela say, stop.
No, Mackenzie says it because she always knows where the cameras are.
I thought
Mackenzie said it.
Did Michaela say freaking pathetic?
Yeah.
Oh.
And Mackenzie said, stop the cameras. And she went over there to the right. And I wrote, I'm dead. This was my favorite moment in the documentary so far.
It was. And
y'all, and there was this moment where they realized they were being complete and utter just wretches on camera.
Just fucking harpies.
Yeah. And they realized it. Oh, big royalty.
And that's what the producer said to Mackenzie said, and Michaela said, What did you say?
Or she said, what did Kammi say to you?
And Mackenzie said,
I don't remember.
I don't even know.
I'm not familiar.
And Michaela says, why are we even talking about this?
Talking about this?
I thought it was nothing.
Reaches down to get Yeti.
But she says, but listen, this is very dismissive. She says, I thought it was nothing because it wasn't.
Y'all, they're awful. They're awful.
Really,
they're absolutely awful. I can't now. We would say we would love to talk to them, but I'm going to say right now, I don't think I want to.
Oh, they wouldn't talk to us.
I don't think they would
because we would ask them.
I would.
My first question would be, who hurt you? Legitimately, who hurt you?
My question would be. So you guys have seen obviously your show, your episodes now.
How did you feel about
what? And you've been caught on camera a couple times. What do you think about that? Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you they would probably say next question. So they're probably not going to do interviews.
I don't think they've done anything. Apparently there's a Facebook group that started.
There's two Facebook groups.
But that's a very pro.
One is Pro Bolero and the other is kind of Savage Edition. And Michelle Bolero is trying to get that one shut down.
But I've heard that but there's rumors that Michelle Bolero or friends of Michelle Bolero are the ones who started the Pro Bolero Facebook group.
I believe it. I mean, she's got a lot of friends. So in the pig show business.
If you want to have better press, be a better person.
Amen. That's at least know how to act on camera.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Jordan and Shelley, this is when Jordan and Shelley they're kind of tired and they're like, who decided? And they're some of my favorites because they're like that type of like teenage girls. They'll just kind of lay over each other. They're holding each other, and it's nothing sexual. They're just enjoying being with one another.
I wish boys could do that, and I mean, I'm not trying to be gay.
I wish I could do that.
No, but seriously, it's like. Women can like share.
Women can do that. Men
can't do that.
Nope.
And I wish that wasn't that way.
And they're just saying that, y'all, they're all asking questions that you would normally ask when you were high as a kite. Like things like, why did we decide to hit pigs with sticks? Why is the color red called red? Who came up with the word red? It was stuff like that because they're just so tired because they had to get up at like 3:30 in the morning.
Yes.
I enjoyed that. And the next thing is, I love this next scene. Jody is actually helping Nugget get ready with Teresa. And she's like, I notice sometimes when Michelle is helping Nugget, she's like poking at him and she's saying things like, oh, I can't deal with you. Oh, look, you're all so rumpled. And she's like, that's mean.
And then Jody says, I think Nugget would look great in the Texas flag.
And I screeched like a howler monkey.
And I went, wait, this can't even get any better, but it does. So just wait for it, y'all. So, but real quick, in the junior showmanship, Cannon made the semifinals. This is where Cannon makes the semifinals. Nugget, however, did not get pinned.
Right. And Michaela says, E for effort. Jesus.
And I know. And Cannon
these are children, y'all.
I know.
These are fucking children. And even with Cannon, they've never been nasty. The Reens have never been nasty with Cannon. They'll maybe kind of bring it up that he's like, yeah, you kind of were all over the place there.
It's tough love, but they never attack him as a person.
But the Boleros are awful to Nugget.
They're awful to Nugget.
And I'm sure Michelle was probably like that to her girls.
Teresa, if you're listening, take your son elsewhere. He's a great kid. He's a kind...
I agree. He'd look great in the Texas flag.
As Tyler said, he's kind. He is a kind kid.
He is kind and he is important.
So anyway, y'all, put your phone down and stop looking at your Grindr hookup.
I'm not.
What are you looking at then?
I'm actually not looking at Grindr. I'm looking at like watch and chat stuff, which I wasn't able to do today.
Why don't you be present? Why don't you be present?
I am being. You know what? I'm trying to handle several things at a time.
Well, and don't let everything.
I am a mother of 4.
Y'all,
It is hard to keep all my children fed and get food on the table.
My favorite thing right now is Poodle. Y'all, Poodle loves to make a proclamation or say something, a quip, and then stomp out of the room. But every time he does it, I'm sitting in the living room. He has old plates that are in his kitchen. And every time he stomps out of the room and walks to his kitchen,
I sound like Godzilla.
his plates go junk, 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 junk. And he feels so fat, even though he's not. And it's amazing.
It's not a good thing to hear.
Y'all,
Your whole
Poodle,
kitchen rattle.
If Poodle can't stomp out of the room, he doesn't know what to do.
I do love a good exit in a huff. I'm not going to lie to you.
And Candace says, I was surprised. I thought Nugget did really well. And this is what I love about what Roy says to Nugget. He doesn't start berating him. He says what you say a lot as a teacher. When I said too, when like, how do you think you did?
Yeah, that's what I always ask students.
Get the information from the kid.
Even and it's you lower the stakes. Even when the first time through a song, because y'all students, or anyone who you're working with, we are always evaluating ourselves.
Yes,
and the more you can kind of intersect that self-evaluation and put the right words in there. And then people start using that. Yeah. So I always say, how'd that work for you? How did that work?
You say, how did that feel?
Yeah, how did that feel? And that way you take emotion out of it. You never say, was that good or bad? That way there's no way to put a judgment on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, because I find with my work with clients, whether it's life coaching or singing, is always about getting people to be kind of impartial about, especially things that are accomplishments or results, anything like that. And then you realize it's all about a feeling. And if they can be honest about their feelings, and then you can finally get to work.
And I think Brandon's a perfect example of that, because Brandon ends up, this already happened, I think, but when Brandon competed and he had a better attitude and he had a better feeling, he did better in the show.
Right. Where am I? Oh,
anyway, we see a little bit of Mason. He's competing.
He's a mess.
Bless his heart, he's a mess. But I love that they're laughing at it. And Mandy and Kristen are sitting right beside Teresa and Nugget. And it's crazy how with one person gone, how everybody's getting along at this pig show. They're laughing together. They're having
no, you're right.
It was a totally different thing. So y'all, they're sitting there, and suddenly Tyler walks up
to Jordan's mother,
and talks about what an amazing shower Jordan is.
And the Bolero girls are staring at her,
and we hear the sound, and we see Mackenzie say, "Why is he talking to her?" I heard him say something about a $250,000 pig. They can't even afford that pig.
Whew. And then they said basically, and this was a miscalculation on Tyler's part, but he was going to basically go over there and say, kind of basically saying, I want to get her on our team. And to kind of, because, Jordan's tall. She's statuesque. She can show a pig. As much as I know about pig showing. I'm an expert now. I know how to keep their head up.
Oh, God.
Can we do a shoot at the end where you're in pig ears and I have a little baton?
But I would love.
But I want a real whip.
I would love to whip you just to keep you focused.
I'm ordering the pig whip now.
But so
look for the show on some stills on Tuesday where I'm walking him.
All right, great, everybody. Well, so Tyler says, I think Jordan can show we can take her to the next level. And then that's where they say she's a senior. He went, He's my God.
Oh.
So here's my question to you. Do you think, because Michelle said, well, I think it's funny that Tyler's approaching Jordan, but it's nothing but fluff because nothing's going to come of that because she's a senior.
It could have been one thing or another. It could have been.
Do you think Tyler knew she was a senior and just did it for mentally
I think both are possible. I think he really wanted her and didn't know she was a senior.
I think he knew.
Oh, really?
I think he knew.
That's a good question. We've already talked to him.
It's the end of the season.
Yeah, you're right.
It's towards the end of the pig season. And so
maybe he just wanted the girls would tell the mom.
Wanted to fuck with them.
Yeah. Well, he did say, I'm going to get all your team. And you won't even know it.
You won't even. But now I do know they go more to like the county after this. And the executive producer on Kate Casey said they did film them at the Texas State Fair.
Oh.
For more episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So next season.
In fact, you have to listen to that before we watch the finale.
I will.
I'm not going to do it with you. I refuse.
Honestly, I just have
we haven't
not
had time.
I have not had the time,
y'all. Between this, getting hickeys on his neck, organizing his apartment.
No, and
you know what? Those are important things.
And connecting and doing social media and all that other shit.
Poodle, you have been working hard. I admit it.
Yeah. Thank you. All I need is a little validation in this world.
That's true. So,
I'm like Nugget. That's all I need.
Now,
that and girls.
But Tyler does say, I would shark Nugget in a hot minute. And that's when Tyler says, when you tell a kid that he and his mother are an idiot, he said, what you get is Michaela, Mackenzie, and McCall, and they're all bitches.
And they're all, he said, demons. They're
all demons.
And you know what?
When the demons
got her. The demons got her.
And so, and even better, Tyler then goes up to Teresa, Nugget's mom, and says, Nugget's doing so good. And she's
Can
like,
we get the boys together?
We should get together. We'll have pizza, have fun, maybe walk the hogs. And Teresa's like, yeah,
I'm fine with that. You know, it's not me. I'm not involved in that.
That'll be fun to get the boys together.
Yep.
And y'all, that is a brilliant movie.
It is. And this is, I'm not calling her an idiot, but in a way, Teresa is what, the Russian intelligence has something they call a useful idiot. In other words, they get someone who's not necessarily the brightest bulb in the bunch.
I don't think Teresa gets like...
She doesn't. Yeah. And so you find someone like that who's going to be very useful to you, who doesn't get fully what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway... So Kammi is still being Jody's losing her mind back there with about Michelle. Kammi was saying, "I'll be the mediator. We'll get together with Michelle." And Keely, they're just getting to it.
This really is. I have to say, I kind of was on the. It'll be interesting to talk to Jody about this.
Yeah,
because I was really on the side of the girls on this.
Yeah,
I think the girls were trying to talk to Jody and say, "Mom," because Jody is kind of like, I don't care if she's hurt.
Right.
I want her here so I can talk to her. And they're like, Mom, do you not see the bigger picture of kind of how this is affecting everyone?
Right.
This needs to end. We need to get this done.
But it's interesting to see how the girls approach it. And Keely goes the emotional route. Kammi goes the very logical, rational route. And neither one of them are working with Jody at this point.
Yeah, neither one of them. Jody starts crying. And anytime Jody... She doesn't even say it mean. Anytime she says something to Keely of like, I can't take
Keely
that
goes
right
to
now,
pieces.
Keely like really goes to pieces.
Because they're very similar.
They're the same person.
Yeah.
They're so similar. And you're right. Kammi is so Josh.
Yeah.
And so, which is probably why Kammi and Keely together are such like a good sister duo. And so... Jody is like, she's crying, saying, I don't
Keely's like, take off my mic. I'm not doing it. Who's giving me a ride home?
It was good.
Lesbians, take me home.
Lesbians, take me home to a place where I belong.
West Texas, Mountain Mamas. Take me home, lesbians. I'll let you take the high part on that because I'm a giver.
Thank you. Original lyrics to John Denver's song, everybody. Original lyrics.
Take me home, lesbians.
Take me home. You know what? I've said that. I've been so drunk and I've had lesbian friends. I'm like, take me home.
Because you know what? They're going to be responsible at least.
You have too. I remember some lesbians brought you home in Massachusetts when we were at summer camp and you got drunk.
That's right.
You were like at the Red Line or something.
Oh my God. I got wasted. It's a good thing I don't drink anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that empty vodka cut. So Keely can't respond. They kind of leave. And then Nugget and
we're bringing everyone. We're holding court to the ailing Queen Victoria. I'm sorry, the ailing Queen Michelle.
It did seem kind of gross.
Yeah, they're all like visiting her bedside.
Y'all, it wasn't like
yet she's on a couch recliner.
Yeah, it's true. It wasn't like everybody wanted to come do this. I guarantee.
No, they had to.
I guarantee you, one of the daughters was like,
"Y'all, everyone's gonna get her flowers, and you're all gonna tell her how much you love her because she's done so much for us."
That's exactly what Michaela did.
Yep.
Mackenzie wouldn't do it.
Yep.
But I'm sure Michaela did.
And instead of Queen Victoria on her throne, it was Queen Michelle on her sectional recliner.
On her lazy boy with a worn out middle section.
We know how I feel about recliner sectionals. I went off on them. You're okay with them. I just have a problem with them.
And sissies came at you.
They did. They're like, I love mine.
They do.
I find them unsightly, but that's me.
But that's poodle.
I don't love sectionals in general. That's just me. I think they're against God's will.
Help me.
I think I've never lived in a big enough place where I can have a sectional.
Yeah, they work in they're good in like movie rooms and stuff.
That's why your place wasn't big enough to have a sectional.
I never had a sectional.
You did have that one. That kind of like L-shaped sectional couch.
That's not like a big that was like a small couch with a little chaise on the end. I disagree. It wasn't a sectional.
But it's called a sectional.
But I mean, it didn't. When you say sectional, I think you mean like those big.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, I get you.
No, but no, I had to buy that because, and even my couch now is in sections because my building's so old.
Yeah,
you can't fit a couch in those like 1900 doors.
No, I agree with you.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
when was this place built?
This 1931, but that big space. This is a bigger space.
I don't have that. This couch would not fit in my apartment.
I agree with you.
So yeah, you got to do that. But
you live in a tiny, tiny, tiny doored place.
Hey, and I've got no debt. I'm fine with it.
I don't either.
I wasn't talking about you. I was saying for me, it works.
Anyway,
although I'm sure if I went to Bevmo, and I said, "Can I see the account for Miss Poodle Boudreaux?"
and they goes, "Hold, let me get the scroll.
Let me get the scroll."
That's the first part.
You should really own stock in Tito's at this point.
Tito's, call me.
Or as my brother's friends, or my nephews, anyway, my brother's friends call it, that Democrat vodka.
What?
That's what they call it. I'm like, I didn't know. I thought it was just vodka. Probably
I didn't know vodka could have political views.
I guess so.
Oh, well.
Anyway, it's good either way.
Anyway, so they are holding court. She says, I watched all of y'all on FaceTime. And you know what? It's sad we didn't win a lot of buckles. Then she starts chastising them.
Yeah.
From her, deathbed. Not her deathbed, but her figurative deathbed.
But actually, she's like, that's when she talks about wiping her butt. And she says, and I do think everybody needs to book at least one training session this week. Or if not,
I want money. It's what I want.
After they brought a gift, and then Kane did a Father Ouija's prayer for them.
I know. Father said, we just pray for Michelle's back. Pray, Lord, help her herniated disc line up. I'm busy.
And then we cut to Michelle. Obviously, my heart is in it for the kids.
For the kids.
I wonder if there is a season 2. Would Michelle... They're going to have to give so much money to Michelle for her to do a season 2.
They have to. They would probably have to give her some kind of assurance she'd be quote unquote painted in a better light.
How do you do that? How do you put glitter on a turd?
Well, that's the thing. There's no way to do that, but they'd sign a contract to do that.
That's where the thing with this show, because it's a reality show, and we know that sometimes, but this is a much more docuseries shows.
This is, you can't lie about stuff like this.
But this is like with Michelle, and honestly, even more than Michelle, with Mackenzie and Michaela, I'm like, y'all aren't even like housewives putting it on. You're just a miserable person.
I don't know if they've just leaned into it. And or the producers who were talking with them just really led them to the edge, and made them think the show was going to be about them. And they're like, we're mean girls. We're fine. This is how everyone's going to talk about pig royalty.
Well, I do know that the producer that interviewed them was Eric's wife, and she's an attorney. She was a trial attorney.
Amen.
So she really could get things out of people.
I'm telling you, they created personalities.
Because trial attorneys come for the jugular.
Yeah. They created personalities and people and roles in this season like very few others I've seen.
I'm excited about their next show they're working on. You've got to listen to that at Kate Casey interview.
What is it? Just tell me. Just tell me. Please tell me. Please tell me.
I'm not. I'm going to make you wait.
I hate you.
You got to listen to Kate Casey.
I guess when I go for a Peloton run that's low impact because of my knee right now, I'll listen to that. From trying to put together my fucking apartment. Anyway, let's move it on. So
I'll put a link to the Kate Casey show since I mentioned it so much, by the way, y'all.
Anyway, so Jody and Kammi are walking down this dirt road with the most gorgeous lighting you've ever seen. It's sunset.
Yes.
They're like looking at each other. God, I love the way this was filmed.
Kammi's like, we need to regroup. We need to refocus.
It's like the end of the Incredible Hulk. Wow, 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 wow.
What?
Wow, 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 wow.
That's such a horrible movie. Why would you remember that?
No, it's a TV series.
Oh, the TV series.
Yes. Every time that he has to go somewhere else because he's revealed his true Hulk self, he has to leave.
He has to leave. That's true.
That's what it felt like to me.
It's really well
Thanks
cut.
for your judgment, though. I appreciate it.
I was just thought you were talking about that horrible movie.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
It's not good.
I haven't seen most bad superhero movies that you see on the first night.
Still never seen Wonder Woman. That's one of the best.
I haven't.
I think at this point you're just doing it out of spite.
Why would you say that?
Because I know you.
You're a little right.
I know I am.
If you were to sit down and make me do it, I would probably do it.
That's fine. The next time you want me to go to a Keira Knightley movie with you so I can pick up the pieces when you're on the floor, I might be busy.
Also, I'm going to make you watch another movie if you make me watch that movie.
All right.
I'll think which one.
What do you want me to watch? Chantalamula, Tiki Tiki Taka, some French movie or something?
We need to move on because that was even worse. And that wasn't French you just spoke.
So
some dialect of Esperanto.
Where Jody and Kammi are having this kind of beautiful kind of coming together, yet we see Nugget and Michelle, and Nugget's like, how are you feeling? And she's like, fine. And then Michelle immediately is like, red, white, and blue people have been holding back some pigs.
Yeah.
And she said, you didn't do well, but this next time, we want you to go out the bang. You're going to win. All we want you to do is one thing, Nugget. Win.
This was like a scene from The Godfather, y'all. This is like Papa Vito on his deathbed. It's like, Nugget, you're going to do the best you can to win for our family.
Gonna be a contender, Nugget.
That's Raging Bull, but that's okay.
Haven't seen that either.
Yeah.
I don't like boxing. It's violent.
Anyway, they want to win. They're going to go to the Cougar Classic, the last show of the season. No one called the Cougar. What's she called the Cougar?
Yeah, this is a 90-day
Who called me the
Stephanie,
Cougar?
Who's a cougar. A lot of you don't know her.
You know, I only know one cougar in my life, and that's Cool, my kitty. Where's my lawyer? Where's my trainer? Anyway.
Yeah. So Jody and Tyler, and they're getting all the pigs. They're looking at all the pigs.
And they're basically saying, we've got one in every category. We could make a clean sweep of every category.
Yeah, and Jody said, we got a phone call saying that Michelle said we were trashy, but we don't care.
We don't care.
She said, it's the final show, and we're bringing it all.
And then...
It's the final countdown!
Dig-a-ding, 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 ding-a-ding, ding-ding, 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 ding-a-ding, ding-ding, 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 ding-ding,
Barbecue sauce.
Sorry, y'all. We had to pause it because
We were laughing so hard.
I'll be honest. I don't know why barbecue sauce makes us laugh like it does. Because it was a weird moment in time when everyone was doing that a cappella singing and like low voices were weird and they all did barbecue sauce, barbecue ribs, chilies, baby,
now
back
what?
ribs.
Stop it.
Ow!
Y'all, that's the show. You can go to Reality Gaze Podcast.
God, I'm going to miss Pig Royalty.
I know.
I'm going to miss Pig Royalty so much.
There's one episode left. Hey, look.
I'm not going to miss a show like Pig Royalty. Like, I miss Marrying Millions. I miss Millions.
So it comes on a Tuesday. Does it come out midnight on like
I
between
think
Monday
it comes
and
out
Tuesday?
midnight, like Tuesday, which is 0001. In other words, at
So it's Monday, you go to bed, and then Tuesday at and then that midnight. Y'all, midnight confuses us.
like Monday at 11:59 p.m.
Then Pig Royalty will
Pig
come
Royalty is announced the next minute.
out. Okay.
That was exhausting.
I'm tired. So, y'all, we're gonna try to put out our show on Tuesday night.
Not at midnight.
No.
No.
So-
I'll be occupied.
So, y'all, we're gonna be doing that.
Usually in flagrante delicto at that time of night.
And then, so we'll put out the final episode, and y'all, then we're going to be interviewing Jody and them after everything.
Jody and them. That's how we say it.
Jody and
Jody and them.
Keely. So they're going to be able to hold nothing back, y'all, because no
my God,
spoilers.
we'll have seen it.
Everybody's seen it. It's all out in the air.
Oh my God.
But we will know. I
need Michelle Bolero tea.
It's going to be great.
I need lesbian tea. I need all of it.
I need all of it. Y'all, you can go to Reality Gaze Podcast to see our show, all of our other shows. As you know, we do.
We have a lot.
90 Day Fiancé. Hey, Pig Royalty's in the perfect time for us to pick up Extreme Sisters, Poodle.
I'm going to make an announcement now.
You are?
I don't want to do it. But I'm going to do it because our fans have asked me to, and I'm going to ask for two things. I'm going to ask for as much vodka as I want.
Done.
And I'm going to ask for that one time where if I watch and I'm too sick
to talk about that section?
Yeah. And then you can talk about that one section and then one time. No, you're not doing that. It's just me and you.
What if I ask Chris Farah to talk about it with me?
I would allow Chris Farah because she's another gay guy.
Basically.
So I find her comparable.
So, okay.
So she's a comparable.
So if you're too sick, Chris Farah and I will talk about it.
In
that one section.
In that one section.
But once you use your tap out once, if it gets worse,
I'm not able to.
You don't get to tap out.
And that's the thing. I know it's going to get bad with those two. Because it's mental illness, y'all, and it makes me a little sick to watch.
Oh, Extreme Sisters.
And I will
so
say,
good.
I appreciate you guys who have supported me in my reticence not to do it, because it's revolting.
It's on TLC, so if you have Discovery Plus, and you do because you watch Big Royalty, you can watch the first episode of Extreme Sisters.
But we're going to do. This is going to replace Pig Royalty will replace, or sorry. Extreme Sisters will kind of like be in the same
We'll put
slot.
the first two episodes. We'll put our our Bi-Curious episode that we did out for free.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the first two
We're not going to put that out until next week, though. The Bi-Curious episode's still out.
We'll do it next week.
Yeah, we'll put it out next week.
So you can try before you buy, but if you're already on this tier, y'all are going to get it.
You're going to get it anyway.
Thank you, Poodle.
I also want to say, I'll see you all in hell.
So many people came for you.
I'll see you in hell.
They came for you.
I didn't want to do it. I was coerced into doing it.
They guilted you a lot.
And I've got nothing left. So here we are. I've got no line anymore of what I won't do. And I know I say edgy things all the time, but there's stuff that I just can't abide and watch. I don't do well with housewives. I don't do well with pimple poppers. I don't do well with a lot of that stuff. In fact, Seeking Sister Wives grosses me the fuck out. I have a really hard time with that.
Yeah, that's hard for me.
But honestly, this show was the hardest in a while. And I'm going to do it.
I love you, Jake.
You'll just have to pay for my therapy.
Okay, I will.
I'll start a GoFundMe. You know what? Not that. We'll take an extra portion of the Patreon out just for my therapy visits. I'm going to need to go to Vienna. I'm going to need to go to Vienna and have like a Freud disciple pick me apart.
A direct descendant of
and say,
Freud.
what's this his sister's show? Why do you not like sister's show here? What is a show called? Tell me out about your sisters. Die Schwestern.
What a gift to us all. So see, we're changing from Big Royalty, but we'll still be here for you, Queens.
It's still going to be hard to handle. Hard to handle there. Hey, pretty thing, let me light your candle because I'm still hard to handle now. Yes, I am.
Y'all. That's the show. If you like the show, go on Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review. And if you don't know what to say, you can always say,
keep going, Queens.
Keep going, Queens.
Or
we appreciate it. So, yes. And speaking of that, y'all, our charity this week, be sure to check that out.
It's Sewa International. Yes. SEWA International. And they are involved in direct on-the-ground work with the COVID-19 epidemic in India.
So you can donate that in our private Facebook group, the Sissy Squad, or any merch that you purchase for the month of May.
Right.
All of our proceeds that we get, 100%, will go towards that charity.
And I just want to remind...
Or you can donate directly.
I read this statistic on the last show, and it still has my brain kind of reeling. 300,000 people are testing positive for COVID-19 per day. So you can imagine the level of people who are dying per day.
Yeah.
Per day, you guys. So it is a once in a century pandemic for the world. But India is hitting it the worst, it seems like, of anybody else. They're also needing oxygen, extreme need for oxygen.
And we have a sissy who said if we raise $1,500 that she will match it.
Yeah.
And give us $3,000. So please,
give anything you can. $1 is plenty.
Yeah.
You know, if that's what you can give, but just give. That's what we're saying.
Just give. All right, everybody. We're just as excited as you are for Tuesday night. So until then, y'all, we will sue.